So let's talk about extroverted feeling or harmony. This is used by all FJs in the Myers-Briggs system. So ENFJs, INFJs, ESFJs, ISFJs. And this is about getting people's needs met. This is about what keeps harmony in a group. This is about the dynamics between people, the vibe, the emotional energy out here in the world. And it's an amazing function that really helps people get along and understand each other and connect and have fun. And it really is the glue that holds our society together.
Yeah. And so the place of certainty for FJ types is going to be in extroverted feeling or harmony. And that is using as one's surveyor tool of estimation or esteem, connectedness, the health of one's relationships, being tapped into the culture at large, understanding what is happening on a social level. So writ small, it's the connections between individual human beings, right? It's relationships. Writ large, it's a tapping into society and what's happening on a much grander level, right? Where is society going? And this is definitely an energy that is coming up in the world. You know, I've said multiple times, I don't know if I've said it on the podcast, but it feels like the 20th century was very much an extroverted thinking or effectiveness century. This century, this 21st century feels like it's going to be more of an extroverted feeling or harmony century.
Yeah.
And so it feels like this energy is definitely coming up.
Well, I think that's where the double bottom line comes from. It's not just about getting the bridge built. It's about everybody on the team that built the bridge feeling great about it.
Exactly. Yep. And so when FJ types are determining their own self-esteem, the estimation of themselves, the place of the greatest certainty, the first measuring rod they're going to use is the quality of their relationships and their connectedness with other people, whether or not they have friendships and relationships, whether or not they feel like they're very much connected to a culture at large, that they're contributing, that they're part of this, you know, sort of bigger picture of humans going a certain direction. And so if you're using your relationships as your first measurement, like extroverted thinking or effectiveness, this makes it a little more convenient because you're looking at outer world markers to determine whether or not you're succeeding. What are the quality of my relationships? How connected am I? How much am I giving to the group or to my community or society at large? Like what am I offering of myself? And like you mentioned, it's getting people's needs met, but that could be, you know, it could be your family, it could be your partner, it could be people in your life, or it could be the needs of humans, right? What am I doing to be a part of, you know, to be a bigger part of contribution? So when an FJ type is feeling low, this is where you get a lot of the recommendations that when you feel depressed, go help somebody else. Because this is the part of us that lights up when we do that, right? This is the part of us that goes, okay, it's going to be okay. You know, I have people I can lean on. I have people who can lean on me. Well, we've all got each other's backs. It's going to be okay. And so that's the advantage to it. The advantage is that while it doesn't have as specific, you know, measurable criteria as extroverted thinking or effectiveness, it does have more of an objectiveness to it. It has more of an, you can observe this in the outside world. If I am connected, if I have friends and relationships and people I love and who love me, I'm probably doing okay.
I would say there is a little bit of a difference in how some extroverted feeling or harmony people see that metric or that judgment, that metric, however you want to say it. And I think this might be something that causes a little bit of low self-esteem. Some harmony users, FJ types, are so focused on getting the needs met at such a distant future, like being on the right side of history. I think that's a very extroverted feeling metric because it's like about social, right? I want to be on the right social group in the future. And there's almost an attunement to that so much that they feel unsatisfied in the here and now of what's going on right now in the world. Like they're so focused on, doing things to go toward that metric. I think it makes them feel really unsatisfied and not have good self-esteem sometimes. Really struggle with, am I doing the right thing? Do I have a good self-esteem? Am I showing up and contributing well? Society tells me I need to be focused on that future point. But really, I think extroverted feeling or harmony is attuned to the here and now. It's responsive to the moment, the needs right now. Because it's going to be really hard to know what the needs are 100 years from now. We could guess.
Yeah.
But I think that undermines a little bit of what extroverted feeling shows up to give.
Well, and I would actually argue the phenomenon you're talking about is not extroverted feeling. It's the opposite side. It's introverted thinking or accuracy.
There you go.
So that's going to be a place that's going to be the other judging function that influences FJs, but is not going to be a place of certainty. So introverted thinking is more about core principles. It's more about a detached judgment, right? Whenever you're in an introverted thinking or accuracy space, you're actually detaching from a situation and you're trying to look at it as logically and objectively as possible without your own personal bias in it. And when a person is attempting to be as logical as possible, what ends up happening is they end up reducing things down to core principles. And core principles are timeless. That's sort of the point, right? They're the things that continue and hold true regardless of context. And so if you're looking at your sort of the thing you're contributing to society, but it has to be approved of on every moment in the timeline, now we're actually talking about a core principle. What is a core principle of how we should be treating each other? What's a core principle of how we should be showing up and judging? What merit should we be judging each other upon in a timeless way? And so that undermining that like sort of hyper focus on doing things that 100 years from now will approve of your actions, you'll be on the right side of history, is more tapping into this concept of a core principle.
Yeah.
And that is introverted thinking or accuracy, which is going to be the place where there is less certainty.